play as a freshman and making a big impact on my team and helping them win some championships, you know, and some, you know. So I'm gonna come in and work hard. I'm gonna work very hard and just expect to be starting my freshman year.
We're talking with Prince Strawn right now, the younger brother of Michael Strawn, who plays for the Indianapolis Colts. Your brother, obviously, he's a professional football player, playing in the best league in the world. What kind of inspiration has he been for you from a day-to-day standpoint?
Well, it's definitely inspiring, you know, just having a brother in the league who did the same process I did. It is inspiring. I learned a lot from him, and that's what really is really motivating, you know, seeing the lifestyle and just make it's very inspirational because we really grew up together and we went through the same process. So yeah, I get a lot from him. I learn a lot from him, what to expect and what to like work on and stuff like that. So yeah.
It seems like the Strawn, the Martinborough family is huge on family concept. I mean, you guys support each other, a number of athletes in the family. Yeah. Last but not least, man, how important is it to have family values as a young man?
As a young man growing up in Bahamas, it was really important. Then going to the States, yeah, you know, learning that manners and respect and all that, yeah, it's definitely, it helps a lot. And family just motivating you all the time, and you know, your mom and your dad, they really helped me throughout the process, you know, and everybody, there's just so inspiring, you know what I mean? And you need that family aspect in your life, because when you're over there, it's just you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's no family, so you get homesick a lot, but yeah, they carry me through a lot.
And there you have it. That is Prince Strawn, recently signed at Boise State. This is a special production of Sports 360 and Grand Bahama. We have the two football stars. Hopefully we'll be seeing Strawn in the league in about 3 years, because I do believe you have to play 3 years in college football. Yeah. I know that's his expectation. But thank you guys for joining us on the special edition of Sports 360. We'll be back with the next edition, Don't Touch the Dial.
Picture your parents, them over there watching you.
You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never hit me before? You raise your hand hit me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together?
With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you punch me. You punch me?
This ain't no playground.
You gonna know before you leave today. If you leave, if they find some space, I just teach you all how to disrespect.
It's a whole new season.
Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it.
Watch their transformation.
It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner.
Teamwork. You are a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you do? The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news tonight.
A protest taking place today against the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Also, an epileptic patient alleging abuse at the hands of medical workers. And hear how the government is working to address housing challenges on the island of Abaco. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Well, it was a heated exchange between organizers, residents, and officials of the Grand Bahama Port Authority as an organized march from the heart of downtown led to the steps of the Port Authority. Scores of Grand Bahamians taking to the streets to voice their concerns about the state of Grand Bahama. Our Rumiko Knowles has the report.
Residents in Grand Bahama say enough is enough. A protest taking place today against the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Emotions running high today as business owners and residents of Grand Bahama assembled to protest against the Grand Bahama Port Authority for the lack of development on the island. Residents say they are fed up with the state of the economy and they have had enough. Those residents took to the streets to have their voices heard in the form of a march which led to the doorsteps of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Local businessman Darren Cooper leading the crowd of protesters as he presented the president of the port, Ian Roll, with the document.
This is the document, sir, from the people of Grand Bahama, business owners with issues and concerns. And we've asked the board to answer us within 30 days of this document. We look forward to hearing from you.
After receiving the document, President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority addressed protesters.
We are open to any sort of constructive criticism at the Port Authority. We want to be the best. Right now, we want to be the best in terms of delivery of services and our responsibilities based on the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. There are some people who do not understand what is in the agreement, and I would encourage them to please read that agreement and all the amendments.
The words of the president were not well received by protesters. Addressing the port president, former member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, says he simply wants port officials to know that people in Grand Bahama are hurting.
And we also want the Port Authority to know that since the death of Edward St. George, this island has been lacking vision. And where there is no vision, we as a people tend to perish. And so at the same time, we're saying we understand that we're hurting and we understand that things are bad, but we're also saying we want empathy and sympathy from the Grand Bahama Port Authority as well.
The heated exchange between protesters and port officials continued, which prompted a response from Chief Operating Officer Filcher Grant.
We understand that people are hurting, and we represent an organization with Grand Bahamians just like you. We got people that come here every day to do a job, and we know that it's not an easy job.
Correct.
It is a job where we come here every day and we know that people are hurting. We know people. No, it's fine. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. We can talk. We talk.
Chants from the protesters got louder as Grant tried her best to dialogue and hear their concerns.
We cannot get resolution if we are fighting each other and not listening to what we have to say. We came out here to show you the respect to meet with you. We didn't hide behind walls. We didn't hide behind buildings. We faced you. I understand that this is not an easy position to be in, and we are just like you. We live here. We shop here. We have family here, and we want to do the right thing.
Grant pointed out that they have no issue meeting with concerned residents and business owners as they all share a common goal, which is a prosperous Grand Bahama.
We accept that we want the same goal, which is that everybody in Grand Bahama to be able to provide and live well. Then we have a common sense that we can start from. Can we accept that? No, take the tree down. Then let's accept that. Let's accept that, and then we'll move on from there.
Now, organizers of the protest have requested an audience with the Port Authority and have also given them 30 days to respond to the questions posed in the document. Cooper says it should not have gotten this far, but they were forced to take this measure to have their voices heard.
It should not have taken this to bring us to this point. We have spoken with the president and executives. We've voiced our concerns on numerous occasions, and so they've gone on deaf ear. And so we're hoping that from the start of the day that we'll be able to have these matters addressed. We look forward to talking. That's what we want. We want to not just be called stakeholders, but we want to be stakeholders.
A meeting is expected to take place in several weeks. This is a story we will continue to follow. Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Rumiko. Well, the leadership of the Grand Bahama Port Authority also coming under fire by residents on Grand Bahama who say their frustration comes from the lack of vision from those in top positions, as residents voice their lack of confidence in the leadership at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. They add that Grand Bahama has been on a downward trend for far too long.
I am a little bit disappointed that there's not a crowd here, because the whole of Grand Bahama should be in this crowd today. For the past, since Princess closed in 2004, the Grand Bahama economy has just been going down. And it seems as if the government doesn't care, Port Authority doesn't care. Who do we talk to? Who cares? We need help in Grand Bahama. Our young students, most of them are leaving the island because they have no work, okay? What else do we need to do here in Grand Bahama but take a procession walk to the Port Authority's building? Look, I lost my husband due to COVID. See the hospital right here? I lost my husband, he was 47 years old. And my thing is, if we had the proper infrastructure, we wouldn't have lost him. I'm tired of the same thing over and over and over and over. We've been too long without a hospital, without an airport, with no hotels, no jobs, nobody could afford, no insurance, no nothing. And if we had insurance, of course, he would have been able to fly out of here like the ones who was from the Port Authority, who was sick. How much people they fly out? How much people did they fly out? They fly out their staff. But I couldn't do the same. I couldn't afford to do so. So my husband died right here. Sit around Memorial Hospital right there. That's where he died.
Now, the owner of Knowles Auto Rental, Junior Knowles, says he is open to sitting down and dialoguing with the president, which is his reason for joining this march today.
I saw him on TV yesterday, and I was angry just like the rest of these people. But listen to me. You have to sit down and dialogue with him and hear what he have to say, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to represent me and my company that is hurting now. I'm a licensee, $2,500 a year, licensee at the Grand Bahama Port, small car rental business. So I want to see what him and his other people up here have to say, and I'll go from there. I'm not going to jump the gun and curse him out and rile him out. I want to hear what he have to say. He's a decent guy, so I'm going to hear him out.
Now, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, releasing a statement on the Let's Take a Stand March. The statement reads, under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is mandated with the responsibility for the development, administration, and management, as well as the provision of services within the port area of Grand Bahama. The statement goes on to say that this administration advocates compassionate leadership and express that social consciousness is an integral part of the restoration of the Grand Bahama economy and community, while adding that the Grand Bahama Port Authority is responsible for the management of the city of Freeport. The minister's statement says business owners and residents within the port area have chosen to peacefully exercise their right to protest, to vocally express their dissatisfaction with the manner in which they perceive that the Grand Bahama Port Authority has managed Freeport. They are entitled to receive the answers that they seek. The Minister for Grand Bahama's statement concludes that the Davis Cooper administration will continue to make every effort for the restoration of Grand Bahama Island for the benefit of the people, adding that they will continue to engage with all stakeholders in this regard. In other news, the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, and his delegation returning from the 33rd Intersessional CARICOM meeting in San Pedro, Belize this evening. The Prime Minister was joined by Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service, Red Mitchell, Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, Parliamentary Secretary to the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, John Pinder II, and High Commissioner to CARICOM, Leslie Miller Bryce. The nation's leader discussed matters impacting the region around climate change, COVID-19, and regional security. The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, among the delegation, and she says that the trip was fruitful, adding that some high-level talks and initiatives to improve Grand Bahama's economy was also discussed. The minister is adamant that the island of Grand Bahama will see the benefits of this trip soon. Meantime, the government taking a serious look at the housing challenge that remains 2 years after Hurricane Dorian. Tonight, the Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, gives an update on plans to address the issue. This as officials of Urban Renewal travel to that northern island to assess and assist those in need of housing repairs. Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, says 2.5 years after Hurricane Dorian, the greatest challenge on the island of Abaco remains housing. But he says since coming to office nearly 6 months ago, the government, through its relevant agencies, along with the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, are working hard to address this issue.
6 months going in, we would have had quite a number of ministers visit with Abaco, doing assessment, the Ministry of Works, Housing, Prime Minister would have been over a few times, just to name a few of them, but quite a number of ministers was here. We are doing assessments, we're gathering information, and one of the fruits of those visits is the groundbreaking ceremony held by Ministry of Housing, Minister Jobette Davis. She was in, and we would have located properties in Central Pines and we had a house fair. Right now in Abaco, one of our greatest challenge is housing. Persons are still in need of housing.
The Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Senator Kirk Russell, is currently on island to assess and assist those who are in need of house repairs.
I'm presently on the ground right now with a representative from Urban Renewal, Kirkland Russell. We're starting a program. We're collecting information today. We want to do some small home repairs, at least about 1,000 homes. And we want to get that done at least before the heart of the hurricane season begins. So there's much work being done. It might appear as if it is being done slow, but it is the process and it is being done. Again, one of the greatest needs I found in Abaco to date still is housing. There are too many persons without homes. And I'm extremely excited that this Davis-led administration is, moving and taking that housing shortage extremely serious and is addressing it with all emphasis being placed on it.
Cornish says over 2 years later, many Abaconians remain displaced.
Yes, quite a number of persons are still displaced off island, and quite a number of persons returned home only to struggle to stay put in places like vehicles, tents, domes, churches, societies, various societies, buildings, stuff like that. So there is even teachers are having issues to report to work in Abaco because of housing shortage.
While he contends that there are still a lot of infrastructural work that needs to be completed on the island, he says the government remains focused on ensuring that the rebuilding efforts continue as swiftly as possible. Switching gears now, a man diagnosed with epilepsy alleging abuse at the hands of some members of the Grand Bahama Health Services and calling for an investigation into this matter.
I need justice, Dr. Dowell.
A mother making an impassioned appeal to the Minister of Health to look into a situation that she says is heartbreaking. According to her son, Anthony Boleg, this past Monday, he had a second seizure for the second day in a row. But he says his encounter with the ambulance drivers and other medical staff left him with scars and bruises.
I was in a seizure state. They put me in the ambulance, and all I know is when he hit me, I come back out the seizure, and I say, Mom, why you slap me like that? So he hit me again. Bah! When I get slapped again, I go on in another seizure again. And when I wake up, I was to the ambulance with all kind of blood on me. And then when they pulled me through the hallway, he body slammed me on the ground when they yacked me at the ambulance. He barked me in the back of my neck, and then they pulled me through the hallway. And I told him, I say, man, don't do this to me, man. I say, man, come on, man. Don't hit me like this. And I don't know their name, but I know their faces real good. And then this lady who's a security, she comes sticking me with needles like crazy. She say, hold on. Let me give him these needles so you don't feel this pain. And then after she pushed them needles in my hand, they start stomping me on the ground and punching me in my face and and dragging me on the ground. And that's how I get all of these injuries, trying to protect myself. And I didn't touch nobody in there. I screaming for my life inside the hospital. And I asked, if you see the footages, if you see the security footages, you would say, yeah, y'all ain't supposed to be doing this to people.
Now, we have not been able to retain any footage of the incident. However, he contends that if the tapes are reviewed, it will prove his experience.
I'm afraid of my life going in the hospital. I'm afraid when I have a seizure and they have to call the ambulance for me, and I have to go into the hospital because this is what has happened. And if I was in the wrong, I would have been locked up long time. Police would have been by me. I have a brother who's the police, so I would have been locked up long time if I was in the wrong. And I'm still in pain. All of my side, all break right up. My teeth, my premolar in the back, all tore up. I got jucks and things on my hands and stuff like that. They try to kill me in there.
His wife, Beth Ann Bolag, says that her husband has been having seizures since 2014. But this is not the first time that they have experienced poor service from those who were meant to care for her husband.
He ain't violent now. He ain't violent. He just like, what happened to me just now? Baby just come with epilepsy. That's all I have to say. Just to keep him calm. They are trained to do this kind of work. When an epilepsy person come in their present, they should know how to handle a person with epilepsy. If they train to do that, strap him down or put him in a DI ward to calm him down.
While Bolag contends that he has done nothing to deserve this behavior, his mother, Joy Wilshcombe, is calling for this matter to be investigated.
Your ambulance driver them would do not know how to deal with patients them becoming like my son.
Yes.
Dr. Dowell, they needs to go. Dr. Dowell, I am hot as a pot. It have to stop.
Now, following our interview with the Bolag family, our ZNS News team reached out to the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. the Honorable Michael Darville, who says that an investigation is underway.
But I would like to let the Bolag family know that I'm on top of it, and a full investigation into this matter is ongoing at the Rand Memorial Hospital. Instances of this kind gives the hospital a bad reputation, and we need clarification because it appears as if there is some element of abuse. If that is the case, we would definitely move on it immediately to ensure that this type of behavior by any staff member at the Rand Memorial Hospital cease and desist.
Well, COVID numbers continuing on a downward trend. The latest COVID-19 dashboard as of today revealing a total of 17 new cases for the country. Grand Bahama, 4 cases, Nassau, 11, Berry Islands, 1, and Long Island, 1. The number of hospitalizations on Grand Bahama are 4, of which 3 are moderately ill and 1 person is in the intensive care unit. To date, there have been 771 COVID-19 related deaths, 169 non-COVID-19 deaths, and 43 remain under investigation. Meantime, health officials are reminding residents to continue to take the precautionary measures like washing your hands, covering your cough or sneeze, wearing a mask, and keeping your distance to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And that's going to take us to our first break. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Come on down. Come on down now.
During the month of March from 3 to 4 p.m. daily, it's the after-school $5 fix at Shape Your Cream. All schools qualify. Call 688-4273 for more information.
BC Beauty Supplies is on the go. Freeport's very own mobile beauty supplies offers the best prices on hair. From singles to bundles, closures, and frontals, it's BC Beauty Supplies. Call 828-8441.
The port is coming to you. No barriers, no walls. Calling all voices to join us for our quarterly expo, Port Community Talk. You want to hear from us? here we are. Let's talk about it.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A group of pastors on Grand Bahama meeting with the island's chief of police, Assistant Commissioner Theophilus Cunningham today. Our Sabrina Brown has more on that forum.
It is believed that the church plays an instrumental role in addressing the level of criminality in the country. It is against that backdrop that members of the Neighborhood Pastors Fellowship are joining in solidarity with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to address various issues. Founder of the association, Bishop Sobi Camp, says maintaining good relations with the police is vital to the development of safe communities.
The police chief would know exactly what's going on throughout the communities here on Grand Bahama. And with that in mind, each one of us then receiving from him as an individual who knows what's happening, we become more informed. We then know better how to pray for these various issues.
Apostle Anthony Grant says the church's continued partnership with police is significant.
Over the years, we as pastors got together with the chief of police here on the island, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, to partnership with them for them to let us know what's going on, or whether there were some concerns in the community that we needed to get to our members and let them know and advise them. And we were part of community walkabouts. We were part of community policing, the establishment of community policing. And today was with this Commissioner, Mr. Cunningham. It was us getting to know him and to have that kind of partnership where he could look to us for help, or we could look to him for help, for advice on how to deal with certain situations in the community.
Officer in charge of Grand Bahama and the Northern Bahamas, Assistant Commissioner of Police Theophilus Cunningham, commends the religious leaders for their stance in the fight against crime.
We do believe that this would better assist us with our community efforts in building the trust level of the community and creating safer communities. In addition, we know that we ourselves as police officers need prayers. So they definitely will keep us in their prayers. We look forward to being a part of their monthly meetings and their outreach programs as it relates to community efforts and delinquent and troubled youths and the elderly and those persons whom some people may try to take advantage of them as it relates to their democratic right within the communities.
The police chief is also appealing to members of the public to partner with them.
I'd like to encourage members of the public to trust us as police officers, to police them, and that they can channel any information to us to assist us with the reduction of crime that will be treated in the strictest of confidence. We look forward to this partnershiping with the communities and helping us to create safer communities.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
And finally, news, a New York Times bestseller has taken over a local bookstore on the island with her novel, The Personal Librarian. Victoria Christopher Murray says persons on the island who read the novel enjoyed it so much that she decided to travel to the island to explore the book together. Murray adds that the book is a historical fictional novel depicting the story of a young personal librarian to the infamous J.P. Morgan.
The Personal Librarian is a historical fiction novel. It's actually a biographical novel, which sounds like it would be an oxymoron, but it's the story of a real woman, and we connected what we knew from history with fiction, so that's why it's fictional. But it's the story of Belle DaCosta Green, who was the personal librarian to J.P. Morgan before women could even vote. She was one of the most powerful women in New York because of what she was doing for J.P. Morgan. The thing is, though, no one knew until she died that she was black.
Kelly Russell, owner of H&L Bookstore, expressed excitement for having a best-selling author visit her store after many years. Murray adds that this is her first time as a New York Times best-selling author with over 20 years in writing.
When she said she was coming, I wasn't really thinking that she would really actually be here. So to see her here today, I'm really excited because, you know, after all of these years, we've never had a bestseller here. We've had our local people and one or two other persons, but never a bestseller. So this today is, I mean, it's the beginning of a new era here in Grand Bahama.
I have been writing full-time for 20 years. I have over 30 books, and although I've done well in my career, or else I wouldn't still be here, this is the first time I've made the New York Times. So it's an important achievement for a writer. It's not the only achievement, but it's an important one.
Now, the Personal Librarian novel can be purchased at H&L Bookstore. For anyone interested in the excerpt, you can visit www.victoriachristophermurray.com. That's a look at stories making news. Your Facebook friend of the night up next.
KMW Battery and Tires. Oil change. Oil and filter not included. Labor starts at $35. Open up Mondays to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in today.
The port is coming to you. No barriers, no walls. Calling all voices to join us for our quarterly expo, Port Community Talk. You want to hear from us? Here we are. Let's talk about it.
Are you looking for a convenient way to have your blood work done? Well, look no further. Phlebotomy on the Go is here to serve you with their professional lab technician in phlebotomy. Call us at 242-533-0659. We're here to serve you.
That's what I told her. Bring the whining thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wine and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Andrew Russell, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We appreciate your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Roll-Farquharson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, a welcomed boost to the cruise industry. COVID's impact on the most vulnerable. A new crime trend emerges, and World Indoors Track and Field team named. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for joining us.
Updated COVID-19 travel protocols and low case numbers could be just what the country needs for a full tourism rebound. Stats show that in January, more than 108,000 cruise visitors landed in the capital, compared to close to 234,000 for the entire country. Jimenita Swain tells us tonight about the tourism minister's enthusiasm for a robust cruise season in 2022.
It's a first in a very long time. 6 cruise ships calling on the port of Nassau at one time. Royal Caribbean's The Brilliance, Enchantment and Independence of the Seas, MSC's Meraviglia, and Carnival's Sunshine and Legend. That equals to 10,715 cruise passengers in Nassau in one day. Nassau Cruise Port officials even presented plaques to captains of 2 of those vessels for docking here.
Our proximity to the U.S. has been a blessing from God, and we have to really treat it as such when we talk about the enhancement and development of our product and the ability to get here swiftly, faster than any other country in the Caribbean region.
Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister and Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, boasts that a congested harbor translates into big business for team tourism, as well as Bay Street merchants and vendors. To maintain these high levels, Minister Cooper underscored the importance of getting COVID-19 cruise protocols right.
I'm happy to say that we've been leading the charge in terms of making the adjustments that's necessary to build the cruise industry, and many of our counterparts in the region have consulted with us in terms of what we are doing to help to reopen the cruise industry.
Many of those cruise passengers may even be mixing in with the thousands of spring breakers coming here for the next 2 months.
We're focused on our stopover visitors, our guests who come back again and again consistently. And when we talk with our hotel partners in many of the resorts on Paradise Island and Nassau and the Family Islands, the level of uptick in stopover visitors continue to be very strong. So while spring break might be a short-term boost to the numbers, I want to tell you that over and beyond what we will see over the next week or 2 is very positive for the future of tourism and the Bahamian economy.
The number of ships calling on the Port of Nassau is expected to grow even further as Royal Caribbean's largest ship, the Wonder of the Seas, is expected to make its inaugural visit here in Nassau next week, Wednesday. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Meanwhile, just 1 COVID-infected person is being treated locally on the intensive care unit. This while another 10 people are deemed moderately ill. This while 17 people have recently tested positive for the virus. Of that number, 11 are on New Providence, 4 on Grand Bahama, and 1 each on the Berry Islands and Long Island. Just 1 of the newly infected show a history of travel within 14 days. As for recoveries, the March 3rd dashboard puts that at 16. Meantime, 1,047 RT-PCR tests were completed on Thursday, 4 of them repeats. Meantime, education officials are moving ahead with plans to determine the extent to which the pandemic has impacted the public school education system. Students have long been out of the physical classroom, receiving instruction mainly through virtual learning, and even that, many haven't reportedly participated. A request for proposal is being developed to solve this dilemma.
It's taking a little time, but it has to be right because it will go out for publication to invite proposals from firms that will provide a template or a program that will allow us to test every individual child, and that will be able to create acceleration programs so that once you've determined a student is at this level, that we're able to provide a program that will accelerate that child to where the expectation is for that age level.
Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin admits this is critical and a huge undertaking, but one that must be done.
If we don't, we'll pay the price down the road, and it will really be not justice to the young people because it's through no fault of their own they're here. The pandemic has kept children out of school for 2 years and put them in a virtual reality. It's been very stressful. We are obliged to do all that we can to cause for these children to come back, to catch up, and to excel. And that's what the objective is. So the Ministry of Finance is assisting us with it. We anticipate by September we will be testing children. And during the summer, teachers will be trained in the program.
Talk of gender equality is often reduced to women receiving lesser paid job opportunities, benefits, and education than their male colleagues. But the Pan American Health Organization has found that this disproportion exists even in the case of the COVID-19 pandemic. As PAHO Director Dr. Carissa Edian cites with the imposition of lockdowns, there was a spike in violence against women.
During these periods, calls to domestic violence hotlines soared by 40% in some countries. Of course, COVID also had a significant impact on women's health. As the vast majority of our health workforce, women were at the front lines caring for COVID patients and putting themselves at risk. It is no surprise, therefore, that they accounted for 72% of all COVID cases among health professionals.
Regional data has also made it clear that COVID has had a staggering impact on maternal mortality.
Over the past 2 years, more than 365,000 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in pregnant women in the Americas. And sadly, over 3,000 of them died. PAHO has just completed a study tracking COVID deaths among pregnant women across 8 countries in the Americas. We found that 1 in 3 women who required critical care did not access it in time, and over 90% of 447 pregnant women in the study were already experiencing life-threatening symptoms when admitted to the hospital. Nearly 77% delivered their babies prematurely, and nearly 60% of these children were born with low birth weight.
Now, over the last week, close to 1.5 million COVID cases were reported, a decline of 32%. Likewise, there was a 10% drop in deaths to 24,650. While this is all commendable, Edian says 4 countries saw an upswing in cases and 10 countries an increase in deaths, proof enough that the world's still dealing with a fluid situation. Well, in related news, while some businesses are still very much reeling from the damaging effects of COVID-19, others are making positive gains. Tonight, Desmond Saunders highlights the Bahamas telecommunication company's pretty impressive survival through this crisis.
COVID's dealt a serious blow to businesses, some of them forced to either streamline operations in a bid to avoid going belly up. But for the country's oldest telecommunications provider, BTC has not only survived, but thrived in the midst of it all. Company CEO Andre Foster says revenue for the company is up $8 million over 2020, and this despite not having recovered to pre-COVID-19 numbers.
We expanded our fiber to the home footprint. We added another 13,000 homes that now have fiber to the home or fiber in front of their homes. We're investing in our communities. That investment comes through our fiber to the home build, which we continue to expand. Our expansion on that fiber to home has aspirations to be fully done in New Providence and Grand Bahama by the end of 2023.
Steering a multi-million-dollar operation with 700 employees in the midst of a crisis is no easy feat, but Foster applauds the work of his most valuable resource, the company's human capital.
We gave our staff lots of flexibility, but the first thing we did is we took care of them. right? So from pandemic to now, we have galvanized around our staff. We've made sure we supported them. We've kept them employed, and that included not just our full-time staff, but also our contractors and our temporary staff. So we really showed love back to the folks who build and keep our customers connected every day, making sure that they felt comfortable. The other things I would say that really have inspired our staff is that as a company, we are very progressive in our policies. So whether it be our fight against gender-based violence, whether it be our progressive paternity leave.
And with just 1 year at the helm, Foster says his work continues.
We've made significant investments, like post-Dorian. We did a lot of investment in our fiber build and made sure that we actually bury that infrastructure so that we're not dependent on the pole lines. So, we've made improvements to make sure that, our infrastructure is more resilient and to ensure that we've got the right tools and pieces in place in the event of a disaster. So here in New Providence, as well as in Grand Bahama, we have specialized mobile central offices that we build out and prepare for hurricane season.
Desmond Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Well, still to come, the Prime Minister is back home from Belize and an alarming trend that raised the attention of the police. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years. But at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Since eating at KFC, Shanika became the new savings meme. Get a KFC Mega Mash Bucket Meal with 8 pieces of tender, juicy chicken, a Mega Mashed Potato with gravy, and 4 buttery biscuits, starting at only $20, including VAT, and save like an expert at KFC. Order on WhatsApp at 557-3663. KFC Nassau.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis is back home tonight after spending the week at the 33rd Intersessional Meeting of CARICOM heads in San Pedro, Belize. He left San Pedro's airport this morning under a 21-gun salute from the country's law enforcement team. The Prime Minister and CARICOM leaders held successful discussions this week on pertinent matters relating to the region that will be further discussed at the 43rd regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government this July in Suriname. Well, upon his arrival in Belize, the Prime Minister, Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, And the country's non-resident ambassador-designate to the Central American Integration System, or CICA, His Excellency Sebastian Bastian, met Guatemala's foreign minister and El Salvador's vice president in the VIP lounge of the Philip Goldson International Airport. An Office of the Prime Minister release indicating that Bastian's appointment shows the government's commitment to engage the region at a level that never existed. Well, if you own or want to purchase a Japanese vehicle, this next story is for you. There's a new armed robbery trend that targets businesses and drivers of small Japanese vehicles. Robbers seem to use firearms to commit the crime. Police are appealing to the public this evening to be aware of their surroundings and exercise the necessary precaution while conducting business and traveling the streets. You should also report suspicious individuals, activities, and vehicles. Police officials assure they will spare no effort to arrest and prosecute those behind such crimes. Good news, meantime, for motorists who frequent Gladstone Road. Proposed expansion plans for that thoroughfare is progressing. Works Minister, the Honourable Alfred Sayers, says public consultation will take place before the work can begin.
At this point, it's going to be a significant cost, but it's also very important. We will announce the figures. It is an important carriageway bringing people from the southern part of New Providence to work and school in other parts. And we know that it's not adequate for the volume of traffic.
The Bahamas Alzheimer's Association speaking out on that social media video that went viral showing an elderly person being abused. While some suggested the victim may have been disabled or had Alzheimer's, regardless of the circumstance, Association President Wendy Poitier disagrees.
Even if it were or were not, any type of abuse, especially of persons who are vulnerable, should not be condoned. And we say, of course, as we stated in our press statement, that it is especially concerning if there is abuse of an elderly person, where we know that the population of the country is aging. So we know that there will be a high percentage of persons who will be considered in that elderly age group, and the risk for Alzheimer's and dementia would be increased here in our nation.
Now, after meeting with health officials, the organization's pushing for greater protection for the elderly.
Our affiliate group is Alzheimer's Disease International, which is affiliated with the World Health Organization. And that was one of the mandates that had been put forward, that by 2040, that every country who is signed on to the World Health Organization, who is a part of the World Health Organization, that every country would have the National Dementia Plan. Of course, we have not started anything as yet here in the Bahamas. And so again, that is one of the thrusts of the Bahamas Alzheimer's Association, to see that this National Dementia Plan is in fact put into effect. And that the National Dementia Plan will address issues just like this, that talk about elder abuse of those persons who are vulnerable, especially the age.
Well, now to labor news this evening. Negotiations for a new industrial agreement for the National Insurance Board's management union isn't as contentious as it may seem, according to State Minister responsible for NIB, the Honourable Miles Laroda. The Public Managers Union recently demonstrated over benefits it wants in its new agreement, among them increases and bonuses. The previous industrial agreement expired in 2019, and negotiations have been underway since the State Minister and new chairman took over.
Despite some of the rhetoric that is being put in the social media, the negotiations have, for the most part, been amicable. There are a few sticking points. The reality is that, in these tough economic times, while we want every employee of the Bahamas, including NIB to be treated fairly, and that would include the managers union. There are certain realities. The past 2 years have been very, very, very rough. Economically, we have people that are hurting, and we want to strike the right balance between compensating our staff while ensuring that the National Insurance Pension Fund is there for years and years to come.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs. Click Login. Register with a government-issued ID like your NIB card. Fill in your personal information exactly as it appears on your ID, including spaces, periods, and dashes. You'll only have to sign up once. Now you're ready to request services on My Gateway. Receive an email confirmation for every request and email alerts when your documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. New services will be added every month. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. For more information, visit mygateway.gov.bs.
Hungry and looking for something so satisfying? Something to truly tantalize your taste buds? Then make it Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. Also serving up a variety of delicious wings, freshly cooked to order under 10 minutes, with 2 locations to serve you. Mall at Marathon, open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. and the East-West Highway next to Solomon's from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. That's Charlie's, the home of the #1 cheesesteak in the world. 393-3100.
RBC celebrates International Women's Day and recognizes Christine Robinson.
Christine Robinson drives home the message of girl power each day on the job. The CEO of 2 international franchises, Volkswagen Bahamas and Dollar Car Rental for the past 10 years, Mrs. Robinson was given the opportunity to present at the Latin American Conference in Ecuador and participate in the introduction of the new Volkswagen Tiguans, where she drove on the highways of Chile. Mrs. Robinson started her entrepreneurial journey in 1993 as the owner and manager of Supreme Dry Cleaners in Freeport, Grand Bahama for 21 years. When Hurricane Dorian devastated the island, she was on the first vessel to Freeport with food items and dry goods collected and donated by the Nassau chapter of Links Incorporated to assist those residents in need. The Links Incorporated donated over 40,000 pounds of food and other essential items to the Grand Bahama community in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. Mrs. Robinson served as a Board of Trustee member of St. Andrew's School in Boca Raton, Florida. She's presently a member of the Catholic Education Board, a member of St. Paul's Parish Council, and director of the Airport Industrial Park.
RBC International Women's Day. I am limitless.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Well, I don't call it work. I call it an experience. It is nice. I love it. I never left the island to go nowhere work because I enjoy taking people out on tours and having an experience with them. What makes Long Island unique is we have a nice culture. We have beautiful beaches, beautiful land. We are quiet, peaceful. I give the eco tours, snorkeling, deep sea fishing, sightseeing, and excursions to Georgetown. My tours are special because of the beautiful waters, fishing, and also the excursions down through the snakes. Like the expression on people's face when they get to the opening of Kong Point, everyone's mouth drops open. Been around the world, they say, but they never say nothing as beautiful as through the snakes.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here. I believed in Tokyo, the belief that I could be, we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Shawnee Miller-Weibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
45th and 6th graders of the Cleveland Enyas Primary School officially installed as prefects today. Member of Parliament for Pinewood and Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Miles LaRota, witnessing the students take their oaths and presented them with certificates. He encouraged the new prefects to remain prominent school leaders.
That does not end with the installation or your badge. Things become much, much harder. Now people are watching you. You're representing a stance that you now have, a standing that you have in school. A grade 6 prefect, everybody looks up to you. And so you have to act as if everything you do is going to be watched. It's going to be scrutinized. It's going to be placed under the microscope. Be very careful of the decisions that you make in school and out of school. People are watching.
The Pinewood MP also donated computers and printers to the school.
I would like to donate on behalf of my partner, Mr. Anthony Ferguson, and CFAL Institution, the first tranche of computers in the form of 10 computers and 5 printers. I want you to take good care of those computers. Remember, there will be others who come behind you. And in the not too distant future, Principal Roll, I expect to get the other 11 because I think you said you had 21 outlets. And I would like to provide a computer for each one of those outlets to help you in your educational journey.
5 young entrepreneurs got a $5,000 financial boost from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to participate in its Be Inspired program, reactivated since closing in 2019. Following a 6-week course on how to operate a business, Tamika Ferguson explains how the funds helped to further develop her business.
The 6 weeks that we did the course, it was very informative. The person that they selected to let us know what we'd be learning and how to run a business was very informative. For me, my business is based around kids and parties. Everybody likes to have a good time. So with the grant that I got, I used to purchase more popcorn, cotton candy machines, and things of that sort. And with being in the program, I decided now to expand my business now that I had the fees to do, or the funds to do those things.
Youth, Sports and Culture Minister, the Honorable Maria Bolag, says 60 people have already received the grant.
The future success of our country is determined on the amount of investment we placed into our younger generations. Our investment must cater to the growth and development of our young people. We are happy to be in position to finally honor our commitments to our young people by paying out of these grants. For any number of reasons, these grants were not paid, and for this, we extend our apologies. However, I am happy to announce that we are now in the position to pay out 60 of the 168 grants.
The life and legacy of former Senator Patricia Coakley highlighted during a state-recognized funeral at St. Joseph Catholic Church this morning. In his homily, Monsignor Alfred Culmer described Coakley, who died on February 19th at the age of 77, as a symbol of selfless humanity. He acknowledged her deep faith led her to further contribute to national development.
Patricia's greatness was her faith. Today I ask the question, what is the true measure of a man or a woman? According to the Book of Wisdom, the true measure of a person does not lie in titles or positions, accomplishments or achievements. The true measure of a person comes from pleasing God. Yes, Patricia's greatest gift was her faith, which she exercised wisely, nobly, and humbly.
Monsignor Culmer also reflected on his final words to the late senator, who was laid to rest at St. Martin's Monastery Cemetery on Nassau Street.
Hold on to God's unchanging hands. Do not let anyone or anything distract you. We thank God for you, for your commitment to the development of our church and to this nation. Thank you for nurturing and forming our children. Thank you for mentoring so many in our Catholic school system, and for the many ways in which you gave of your time, your talent, and treasure to build up so many in our land, and most especially in our archdiocese.
Many marvelous March specials await you at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Par Excellence long grain or parboiled rice, 5 pounds, $3.79. Rainbow pigeon peas, assorted, 15-ounce, $1.29. Super Value water, 1 gallon, $1.29. Pork chop ends, $1.99 per pound. Sweet blueberries, 1 pint, $2.99. March into great specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
So, Mr. Bodie, here you're doing a show. Yes, sir. It's called. Yes, sir. Why do you think is the appropriate title for the show? Well, connotates that it is an authoritative expression on issues, and I do believe that, in my experience, I would have. So we deal with the issues that impact individuals and the nation. Well, I mean, why not? Well, I guess that ends that. That ends that, but it don't end that like that, because the public is invited to call in and participate in all of the shows that we're going to be doing going forward. and I'm excited. How about you? Portland H. Bully Jr. It's the only way to go.
Increased airlift to the Bahamas, a component of the Ministry of Tourism's plan to transport even more visitors here. Revitalizing the Grand Bahama International Airport figures prominently in that strategy, according to Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper.
We have a team on the ground today looking at all of the possibility of things to do in Grand Bahama. I want to tell you that I've seen some of the tours and promotional opportunities for tours and things to do in Grand Bahama. Working along with our partners, we will leverage what we call the verticals: boating, yachting, fishing, diving. Some of the best diving grounds are right outside of Grand Bahama. The west and the east, there are flats that is ideal for fly fishing, bone fishing as we may call it. So I think there's some positive possibilities for Grand Bahama.
Well, while shanty towns have re-emerged on the island of Abaco, Works Minister, the Honourable Alfred Sears, couldn't verify whether demolition would continue. His current focus, well, post-hurricane restoration on Abaco and Grand Bahama.
We have so many of our communities that are still in shatters. Docks need to be built in these communities where fishing is the lifeblood of the communities. Ramps need to be repaired. Also, airports need to be rebuilt, like Treasure Key. And in Sweeting's schools need to be rebuilt. So we've been focusing on giving these projects priority.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, McKinsey. We are under partly cloudy skies this evening. Temperature at 75 degrees. Relative humidity 68%. Easterly winds at 12 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,021.8 millibars. That's 30.18 inches. And the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the outlets this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 72 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Toul. Key, Abaco, Marshall, Abaco at 73 degrees. The Berry Island, 76. Also, Alderstown, Bimini at 76 degrees, 76. Also in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, Kemp's Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. More 76 in Alderstown, Cadallan, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, 77. 74 degrees in Rygat Island, Clownstown, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, 77, Ackland, 77, 80 degrees in Matthewtown, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. For all areas tonight, northeast to east wind speeds around 15 to 20 knots, choppy seas at 4 to 7 feet, so caution flags are up for your boaters throughout the 700 islands. High tide takes place at 9:17 tonight, and then tomorrow, which is Saturday through Sunday in the northwestern islands, we will see a further increase in those winds up to 15 to 25 knots out of the east, wave height 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. High tide, that will take place at 9:35 in the morning, with a low tide at 3:51 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands over the weekend, we're looking at very, very strong winds out of the east, 20 to 30 knots, very rough seas at 8 to 12 feet. So we are asking boaters in the central and southeastern Bahamas to simply assure us.
Stop the world. I want to get off. Stop the world and let me off. Tired of going round and round. I've played the game of love and lost.
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
My name is Alicia Poitea, and I've been using the Mofix brand for almost 10 years now. What I love about the Mofix brand is that it is of great quality, and I currently use it on my 2-year-old and my 5-month-old. I haven't had any issues with irritability or rashes or anything of that sort. What I love most about the Mofix brand is that I get value for money, and that to me is awesome.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you wanna look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Aviation has been around from 1992 in an area far away from most things. In 2018, I picked up the mantle. At the onset that I would have taken over, I was connected to Give Bahamas, and I'm always trying to enhance my Avery's package. And I wanted to expand my customer satisfaction through technology. Everybody comes in and they want to use the Wi-Fi. They want to be able to go live, show off the food and the ambience and the entertainment. So since I've been using the Aero device, my buffering almost went to zero. There's no interruption in that service, which is phenomenal. I would recommend the Aero device to anyone to use it. It works.
When you testify in court, you're expected to tell the truth. Same goes for your insurance application form. You have to answer every question truthfully and provide all the information requested, or you could be found guilty of misrepresentation. That means your insurance company could deny your policy or refuse to pay your claim. Your insurance company relies on the information you provide to determine whether to issue you a policy. Leaving out just one piece of information could lead to misrepresentation. So read your application form carefully. If you're unsure about anything, ask your insurance agent or broker before completing and signing your insurance application form. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your final look at sports. I'm Charles Fisher. Some Bahamians are making the mark on the international scene. Division II College Basketball Conference Tournament going on. Malachi McCoy and Benedict College Tigers took their first step towards the 2022 SIAC Championship with an 83-67 win over Lemoyne College yesterday in the quarterfinals of that tournament. McCoy with 10 points and 6 rebounds. The Angelo State men's basketball team had their run at the LSC Tournament Championship cut short, falling to West Texas 83-73. Nathaniel Bastian posted another huge double-double with 11 points and 16 boards. The Rams will now wait for the Division II NCAA selection show, which will take place this coming Sunday to see if they secure a spot in the regional tournament. The Rams are ranked 5th in the most recent South Central poll, and the top 8 teams secure a bid. Also, Sherman Robertson and Malik Joseph and Newberry will play in the South Atlantic Conference semifinals on Saturday against the number 2 seeded Queens Royals. From pro basketball, Shaquille Clear had 7 and leader of Spain 98-90 lost to Palma. On court today, Dwight Colby and Al Shira of the United Emirates League face Awassal, and Aaron Lavarity and Sven Borg of Denmark taking on Navestead. Our players also on court tonight in NBA. Buddy Hield and the Indiana Pacers at Detroit. DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns host the New York Knicks. The B3 is naming a 3-member team for the World Indoors in Belgrade, March 18th through the 20th. Will be led by outdoor 400-meter champion Shawnee Miller-Uibo. She will be joined by University of Kentucky's Megan Moss, also in the 400, and Devin Charlton in the 60-meter hurl, a pretty small team for the World Indoors. The Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association is sending 2 teams this coming weekend to compete in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic at the Junior Davis Cup and Junior Billie Jean King Cup, where players from the region are set to compete. The dates, March 6th through 11th. On the Junior Davis Cup side, Michael Major, Jackson Matagat, and William McCartney Jr. will represent the team and is captained by Coach Gregory Green. Sierra Rogers, Jaleesa Clark, and Breanne Ferguson make up the Bahamas Billie Jean King Cup team. The team is coached by former Fed Cup player Sharon Green. That's all my time for Sports Friday. I'm Charles Fisher. Have yourself a safe weekend.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Every journey starts with the first step, and mine starts here. I believed in Tokyo, the belief that I could be, we could be the best. We are drenched in Bahamian pride, no matter where we go. In 5 years, Alive built the Bahamas' best network, delivering faster speeds and stronger connections to all 700 islands and keys. Alive believed that every Bahamian deserved a world-class network and excellent customer service. I am proud to be Director of Speed and Connection.
Shawnee Miller-Uibo is total class. Look at her go. What a win.
As we continue to improve our lightning-fast, world-class network and connect with art, culture, and the world around us, never stop dreaming and never stop believing.
Aviation has been around from 1992 in an area far away from most things. In 2018, I picked up the mantle. At the onset that I would have taken over, I was connected to Give Bahamas, and I'm always trying to enhance my Avery's package. And I wanted to expand my customer satisfaction through technology. Everybody comes in and they want to use the Wi-Fi. They want to be able to go live, show off the food and the ambience and the entertainment. So since I've been using the Aero device, my buffering almost went to 0. There's no interruption in that service, which is phenomenal. I would recommend the Aero device to anyone to use it. It works.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
One of the biggest challenges I face as a teen mother is support throughout the community. Instead of the community trying to uplift teen mothers, they insist on bringing us down and trying to tear down our self-esteem. Becoming a teen mother helped me to realize that I need to be more responsible. It helps me to focus on my decisions because I need not to decide for myself anymore. I have to make decisions for me and my daughter. In my opinion, seeking health services was excellent for me. Honestly, my biggest support, other than the nurses, was my Grammy. The advice that I give to other teens out there is to stay focused on your education. Stay focused on your self-goals. Set goals for yourself.
I want y'all to picture your parents them over there watching you. You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never told me before? You raise your hand at me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together?
With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you to punch your mommy. You punch me?
This ain't no playground. You can know before you leave today. If you leave. If they find some space, I can teach you all how to disrespect.
It's a whole new season.
Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it.
Watch their transformation.
It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner. Being like, you are a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you do? The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon. Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures still showing some cloudiness over the southeast Bahamas, and that will fire up 1 or 2 showers during the course of the night in the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Our forecast for tonight, we're looking at mainly clear and breezy. 72 degrees will be the low temperature tonight. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny and very breezy. High temperature, 81 degrees, and your extended weather forecast, we will return to lots of sunshine as of Sunday. That will carry on into the early part of next week. Daytime temperatures once again holding in the low 80s, nighttime temperatures in the low 70s. However, with the strong winds, it's going to feel a lot comfortable over the weekend. Krishna?
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.